So this looks so much like plastic as well. If we can't tell the difference between whether this is plastic or seaweed, animals can't tell that difference as well. Then they start to ingest the plastic and then they fall sick. Well, like everybody else that's doing a cleanup also, you feel like, does this really help? Can this really solve the situation? I come tomorrow, it'll be another bunch of rubbish. I felt that beach cleanup cannot be the only solution towards ocean pollution. It has to be something that really is able to drive change at scale. Why was it easier for somebody to throw it into the river system or to the sea than it was for them to maybe use that and turn it into a fuel source or something more than that? Who are the companies that are manufacturing all of these things? Why have they manufactured a product that they know is continually ending up in places like this? Who's responsible, right? As you can see, that plastic is also choking the mangrove. Look at how the plastic is choking the root. At the end of the day, if you turn around and you look at the amount of fish farms that are here, you know, this plastic is also ending up on our plates. So we are eating, you know, like microplastics. The island of Boracay, where I fell sick and all of this stuff, right? There was a lot of green stuff that was washing up on the beach. And that green stuff was Alva lactuca. And I saw this washing up in our beach also. It's what happened in Boracay happening here also. And what am I supposed to do about it? I used to paddle competitively for Singapore and dragon boat and outrigger canoe. I used to be in front and behind the camera. I was a comedian. My corporate life, I'm interfacing with a lot of clients. I'm speaking at conferences. After I came back from a dragon boat race in 2015, I was only in the water for maybe about 3 days in the Philippines. I developed a host of autoimmune conditions. And the exposure to that polluted water is what caused my immune system to crash. Completely white hair and vitiligo. I had white spots all over my body. It comes and it goes and it morphs in different places. So sometimes it's here, sometimes it's here, sometimes it's here. You never know. I lost my voice for 6 months. My movement, I was cycling. Sometimes I'll just develop spasms and I'll crash into things. Every day with autoimmune, you never know what's going to happen. Like today in the morning, I really had a lot of problem trying to get out of bed. I woke up at about 4 a.m. because I knew that I need at least 2 hours, right, to slowly roll and move and roll and move and try and stand up, and I need a walking stick in my house and things like this in order for me to move. I don't know if there is a most painful, because almost every day is painful, right? You discover some new nonsense about yourself. It can be extremely frustrating and it can really drive you up the wall because you're like, my body is almost attacking itself, right? And it's not allowing me to do all of these things. And so this is also one of the reasons why with Ocean Purpose Project, this is actually finding answers, trying hard, failing a lot, and then slowly finding answers moving forward. This is also where I find a sense of calm, a sense of peace. It was really about saying, how do I live with purpose? How do I find a sense of purpose? And loop all of the things that I do, me singing, speaking, testing, experimenting, being out in the water, paddling, and do that in one company.
我是不接触人的嘛，我英文我也不会讲这么多，所以我就不可以给他们上来啦。后来我就慢慢了解他是做那个环保的东西咯，他是蛮不错啊，很会帮助，不是帮助我，还有别的给龙，但是有很多人就不让他上来了，就是这样，像我一样。
Sometimes it's really difficult because people are like, who this Indian lady, what's she talking about? What's all this beach cleanup thing? What's all this plastic to hydrogen thing? What does she know anyway? She got any credentials? I get that so much that I'm already at this phase where I'm like, whether you think I can or I cannot, right, is irrelevant to me because I'm just doing it anyway. If it bombs, it bombs. But what if all these things that I'm talking about are actually able to really help the environment?
啊，没事了。这个渔场 的名字叫 The g a l o n 这几年是很痛苦的那个情况，我这边就种了4次那个肮脏的水的东西了。09年就开始一直死鱼了，最少几百天，可以顶到现在啊，没有几家可以顶到现在了。
The team worked really hard to plant all of these seaweed mussel lines here. And one little mussel like this, right, is going to grow up to, I think maximum it can come up to about this length. So imagine 24 hours a day, something like this is filtering 56 liters of water. So for one line, 2.5 million liters of seawater is being filtered 24 hours a day. It helps the water of this farm. If the rest of the other farms and the entire coastline of Pasir Ris is able to implement this, then we will be able to help the waters in Pasir Ris. The relationship between land, between sea, and between human beings and nature, all of these things are linked together. And if you are here, then you will realize, right, what it actually takes to feed the nation. A lot of how I learn how to deal with adversity is hanging out with a lot of these kelong fishermen. They go through insane amounts of adversity. You really need to be able to have the resilience and the strength to find a way to survive. And I mean, when you meet him, he's just smiling all the time. I also start to understand okay, whatever's happened has happened. Horrible things can really happen, but it's really about how you're going to find your own way to be able to come back out of it. So, that's also something that this environment and the people here are really what helps me to understand that hope makes the invisible visible. As long as you put in the effort, you can literally carve the mountain out stone by stone, little by little. I do want to be able to know that at least the 9 to 5 that I've chosen for my life is something that when I go to bed at night, I will ask myself, have I done everything I possibly can to make sure that what happened to me doesn't happen again? And I can say, yes, I have, because I'm exhausted and we've given it the best go that we have. If anybody, right, or everybody can basically say that about themselves, that I've given it my best, you've gone off and you've owned that space.